My beloved child, pause for a moment and breathe, because what is happening right now is not random, not coincidence, and not something you were meant to scroll past. A sacred moment is here. A portal had been unlocked just for you. Archangel Michael is speaking urgently, because a divine shield is being placed over you. But only if you see this before night comes. This message has found you at the exact second your spirit could receive it, and heaven itself is watching how you respond. Listen carefully. There is a thin veil right now between what has been hidden and what is about to be revealed. You have felt it all day, even if you could not explain it. A strange heaviness followed by sudden clarity. Moments of pressure, followed by peace. That is not emotional confusion. That is spiritual activation. Archangel Michael says the air around you has shifted, and forces you could not see have been rearranged in your favor. This sacred moment did not open for everyone. Many will sleep through it. Many will ignore the signal. But you, out of millions, are hearing this now. That is because something has been forming against you quietly, and heaven has decided it will not be allowed to touch you. A divine shield is being lowered, not tomorrow, not next week, but tonight. However, timing matters. Awareness matters. Obedience matters. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something very important. Protection is not passive. It responds to recognition. When you acknowledge the warning, the covering activates. When you dismiss it, the window closes. That is why this message feels urgent in your chest. That is why your heart rate shifted the moment you heard these words. There has been an unseen battle around your name. Not because you are weak, but because you are marked. The enemy does not waste energy on what has no future. You have a future that threatens darkness. You carry light that disrupts cycles. And lately, you have been closer than ever to a breakthrough, even though obstacles seem to multiply. That was not resistance to stop you. That was pressure before promotion. Archangel Michael says, do not be afraid of the signs you noticed recently. The sudden tiredness, the strange dreams, the unexpected delays. These were alerts, not attacks. Heaven was buying time while reinforcements were dispatched. What was meant to drain you has been intercepted. What was meant to confuse you has been exposed. What was meant to harm you is now disarmed. But hear this clearly, my beloved child. This divine shield is personal. It is tailored to your calling, your household, your mind, and your next steps. It does not just block danger, it redirects your path. Tonight marks a spiritual checkpoint. From this point forward, certain doors will no longer respond to old keys. Certain people will no longer have access to you. Certain fears will lose their voice. Archangel Michael is standing guard because something valuable is being preserved. You may not see it yet, but your future requires protection now. There are conversations you will avoid without knowing why. Routes you will change at the last minute. Decisions you will delay, only to realize later they saved you. That is the shield at work. Do not underestimate how close this moment is to passing. Heaven operates in windows, and this one is narrow but powerful. If you are hearing this before night comes, it means the covering is ready to be sealed. Your awareness is the final alignment. That is why distractions tried to pull you away earlier. That is why doubt whispered, "This is just another video." It is not. Archangel Michael says this is a threshold moment. Once crossed, you will notice a subtle but undeniable peace replacing anxiety. Not because problems disappear instantly, but because authority has been restored to you. You will stop reacting and start discerning. You will stop fearing and start seeing. Stay attentive. Do not rush past this. Let these words settle into your spirit. Something is being completed right now that began long before you were aware of it. And what happens next depends on how deeply you receive this truth. The night has not come yet, and because of that, protection is still being sealed. Chosen one. As these words continue, Archangel Michael asks you to steady your heart, because the shield being placed over you is not only about protection from harm, it is about separation. There is a line being drawn right now between what was allowed in your past and what is permitted in your future. You are stepping into a zone where access is restricted. Not everyone, not everything, and not every voice can follow you where you are going. You may have wondered why certain connections have felt strained lately, why conversations suddenly felt empty, why familiar environments no longer felt safe or nourishing. That was not you changing randomly. That was discernment awakening. Archangel Michael says the shield does not only block attacks, it filters influence. And this is critical, because the next phase of your life requires clarity, not noise. Understand this clearly. The portal that opened for you is not just spiritual, it is directional. From this point on, your intuition will sharpen. You will sense when to speak and when to remain silent. You will feel a check in your spirit before making decisions that once felt easy. This is not restriction. This is elevation. High places require high awareness. There is something else Archangel Michael wants you to know. The urgency you felt earlier was not fear-based. It was time-sensitive alignment. Heaven moves in moments, not minutes. When the signal is released, only those who recognize it can step through. You did. That alone tells heaven you are ready for more responsibility, more authority, and more peace. Right now, unseen hands are adjusting your path. What looked like delay was actually detour. What looked like loss was actually abstraction. Some things had to be removed because they would have cracked under the weight of where you are going. A shield ensures that what remains is strong enough to last. Archangel Michael is also guarding your mind. Lately, thoughts may have come that did not sound like you. Doubt that appeared suddenly. Old memories trying to resurface. That was not regression. It was exposure. Those thoughts were being identified so they could be silenced. The shield over you includes mental clarity, emotional stability, and spiritual focus. And now hear this carefully. When divine protection activates, confirmation follows. You may notice signs repeating, numbers appearing, people reaching out unexpectedly, words spoken that answer questions you never asked out loud. These are not coincidences. These are reassurances. Heaven speaks softly but consistently. This is why it is important not to walk this moment alone. Messages like this do not just protect individuals, they create alignment among the chosen. When you like this message, when you share it, when you comment and engage, you are not boosting a video, you are amplifying a signal. You are helping others who are also meant to receive this shield before night comes. That act itself becomes part of the protection because obedience multiplies covering. If this message is resonating, make your presence known. Comment, not for visibility but for declaration. Share not for trends but for testimony. Subscribe and stay connected, because what is unfolding does not end here. There are layers to this calling, and you are not meant to navigate them without guidance. Even joining the community more deeply is not about commitment to a channel. It is about staying aligned with what God is revealing in this season. Archangel Michael says unity strengthens defense. When the chosen stand together, the shield expands. What begins as personal covering becomes generational blessing. Your engagement is not small. It is spiritual agreement. There is also a warning wrapped in mercy. Do not rush decisions tonight. Do not argue battles you are not assigned to fight. Do not revisit doors that already closed. The shield works best when you rest within it. Trust that what needs to be handled is being handled. Your role is awareness and obedience, not control. As this part comes to a close, Archangel Michael leans in with this final reassurance. Nothing meant for you will miss you. Nothing sent against you will reach you. Nothing hidden will remain hidden. The shield is active, the portal is open, and the alignment is sealing. Hold on, because what unfolds next will explain why this moment had to happen before nightfall. My precious one, there is a deeper layer to this sacred moment that Archangel Michael now reveals, and it explains why your spirit felt both heavy and hopeful at the same time. What you are experiencing is not just protection being placed over you. It is permission being granted to move forward without fear. For a long time, you have been cautious, second-guessing your steps, wondering if the timing was right. Heaven says that hesitation was understandable, but it is no longer required. This portal opening for you carries authority. Authority to say no without guilt. Authority to walk away without explanation. Authority to choose peace over proving yourself. Archangel Michael says you have outgrown certain struggles, but your soul needed confirmation before releasing them. That confirmation is happening now. There is a reason this message emphasizes before night comes. Night represents rest, but it also represents closure. What is sealed tonight does not reopen tomorrow. Old cycles are being permanently shut down. Patterns that repeated for years are losing their legal right to return. This is not gradual healing. This is decisive intervention. You may notice that your emotions feel unusually still as you listen. Not numb but steady. That is the shield settling into place. It calms inner storms so outer clarity can emerge. Archangel Michael says the peace you feel now is the same peace you will need for what comes next. You are about to be trusted with more influence, more responsibility, and more light. Chaos cannot follow you there. There is also something being revealed about your past that you may not have recognized before. You were never behind. You were being preserved. Situations that looked like setbacks were actually shelters. If you had moved earlier, you would have been exposed to battles you were not meant to fight. Now, the timing is aligned. The shield did not come late. It came precisely when it could be sustained. Archangel Michael wants you to release self-blame tonight. Release the thought that you should have known better, done more, or moved faster. Heaven measures growth differently than humans do. You were being shaped, not stalled. And because you endured, you now qualify for protection that others cannot carry. As this truth settles, you may feel an emotional release, a sigh, a tear, a quiet sense of relief. Let it happen. That is residue leaving. The shield does not attach to burden, it attaches to surrender. The lighter your spirit, the stronger the covering. And now listen closely. There are others who are meant to hear this message through you. Not by preaching, but by presence. Your calm will speak. Your boundaries will teach. Your peace will challenge others to seek their own. This is how light spreads, quietly, steadily, undeniably. Archangel Michael is not only guarding you, he is commissioning you. Commissioning you to live without apology for choosing what keeps you whole. Commissioning you to trust divine timing over human pressure. Commissioning you to rest tonight knowing that what was threatening you has already been dealt with. This is the moment where fear loses its authority. This is the moment where confusion dissolves. This is the moment where heaven's yes becomes louder than the world's noise. Before we close this sacred segment, receive this activation. Type "I receive divine covering" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 444 has just been released over your life, sealing protection, clarity, and peace. And now, hear this invitation, not from man, but from the movement God is building through this message. When I speak because souls are waiting on the other side of obedience. Every seed sown here becomes light in someone else's darkness. As Scripture lives and breathes, God says He gives seed to the sower and multiplies it for harvest. If this word shielded you, let your support shield another. This portal stays open through your action. So through super thanks, step into membership, or release a seed through PayPal. The link is waiting in the description. Do it now, as an act of obedience, not delay. I bless every giver with open heavens, guarded homes, and multiplied peace. Act, and let the harvest answer. Beloved one, as the silence settles after what has just been sealed, Archangel Michael invites you to notice something subtle but powerful. The atmosphere around you is calmer, yet charged. This is not the calm that comes from avoidance, it is the calm that comes from authority. You are no longer bracing for impact. You are standing under covering. And from this position, everything looks different. What you are stepping into now is discernment at a higher level. You will begin to sense what is a line before it speaks. You will recognize what is false before it forms. This is why the shield was necessary first. Without protection, discernment becomes overwhelming. With protection, discernment becomes clarity. Archangel Michael says your spirit is being trained to recognize truth quickly, without strain. You may notice that your reactions are changing. Things that once triggered you will feel distant. Situations that once demanded explanations will no longer deserve them. This is not emotional shutdown. This is maturity under covering. The shield filters emotional noise so wisdom can lead. There is also a restoration happening quietly. Parts of you that were tired from carrying responsibility alone are being strengthened. You have been strong for a long time, often without support, often without recognition. Heaven saw that. This moment is not only about stopping what was coming against you, it is about replenishing what was poured out of you. Archangel Michael says the reason this restoration feels gentle is because force is no longer required. You are not being pushed into the future. You are being drawn. Doors will open without struggle. Answers will come without chasing. Help will appear without begging. This is the fruit of alignment. Be attentive to your inner voice in the coming hours. Not the voice of fear, but the quiet prompting that feels steady and calm. That voice will guide your next practical steps. It may tell you to rest. It may tell you to wait. It may tell you to move. Trust it. The shield sharpens intuition, not urgency. There is a recalibration happening in your relationships as well. Some people will feel closer without effort. Others will drift without conflict. Let this happen naturally. The shield is not meant to isolate you, but it will refine your circle. Alignment attracts alignment. What is not aligned will not fight to stay. You may also notice a release from mental loops, thoughts that used to repeat without resolution. Those loops were signs of spiritual fatigue, not weakness. With the shield active, your mind is given permission to rest. Solutions will come as insight, not obsession. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that protection does not mean absence of challenge. It means presence of authority. Challenges may still appear, but they will no longer dominate you. You will face them from a place of peace, not panic. A difference changes outcomes. This is also a season of integrity. What you say yes to matters. What you say no to matters. The shield honors boundaries. Do not betray your peace to maintain access to people or situations that drain you. Peace is your signal that you are aligned. As night approaches, do not rush to fill the quiet with distraction. Let yourself feel the completion of this moment. You may not have words for it, but your spirit understands. Something closed, something lifted, something settled. Archangel Michael stands watch not only tonight, but over the path unfolding ahead. The shield does not expire at sunrise. It adapts as you move. Each step forward strengthens it. Each act of obedience reinforces it. Carry this knowing with you. You are not exposed. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are covered, positioned, and prepared. And from this place, the next unfolding will make sense in ways it never could before. My beloved one, as this covering settles deeper, Archangel Michael draws your attention to something you may not have named before but have felt for a long time. You have been carrying anticipation without explanation, a quiet sense that something was coming, even when nothing around you confirmed it. That was not imagination. That was preparation. Your spirit was sensing movement long before your eyes could see it. Now that the shield is in place, anticipation turns into alignment. The waiting season you endured was not empty. It was instructional. You learned restraint. You learned discernment. You learned how to stand without applause. These lessons were not delays. They were requirements. What you are stepping into now demands stability more than speed. Archangel Michael says this is why you will not feel rushed in the coming days. Urgency has been replaced with confidence. You will move when it is time, speak when it is necessary, and rest when it is wise. This rhythm is protection in motion. When you are aligned, nothing has to chase you, and you do not have to chase anything. There is also a subtle shift happening in how you view yourself. Old labels are losing weight. Words spoken over you in moments of misunderstanding are fading. You are no longer defining yourself by what you survived. You are beginning to recognize who you are becoming. The shield supports this identity shift. It guards you while you grow into it. You may find yourself less interested in proving anything, less reactive to opinions, less affected by comparisons. This is not indifference. It is grounding. You know where you stand now. And when you know where you stand, outside noise loses influence. Archangel Michael wants you to understand the importance of stillness in this phase. Not inactivity, but intentional quiet. Stillness allows clarity to surface. In the stillness, you will recognize which opportunities are invitations and which are distractions. The shield does not block opportunity. It blocks confusion. There is a blessing attached to this discernment. You will waste less time. You will recover energy faster. You will make decisions with peace instead of pressure. This efficiency is not about productivity. It is about stewardship of your life. Pay attention to how your body responds to choices now. Alignment often feels light, even when the task is serious. Misalignment feels heavy, even when the option looks attractive. This awareness is part of the covering. Your spirit and body are learning to agree again. Archangel Michael also speaks reassurance over your private prayers, the ones you whispered when no one was listening, the questions you asked without expecting an answer. Those prayers were not ignored. They were cued. Now, responses are being released in order. You may not receive everything at once, but you will recognize the accuracy of each answer as it arrives. There is no need to explain this season to everyone. Some will notice the change and feel inspired. Others may not understand and feel distant. The response requires Grekin. Let your life speak. Truth does not need defense when it is embodied. As you move forward, you may feel drawn to simplify. Simplify routines. Simplify commitments. Simplify expectations. This is not loss. It is refinement. The shield works best when your life has room to breathe. Simplicity creates space for joy to return. Archangel Michael says joy is not gone from you. It hath been resting. It will re-emerge gently, without effort. You may find yourself enjoying small moments again, laughing without force, feeling gratitude without prompting. These are signs of restoration, not distraction. Remember this: protection does not isolate you from life. It allows you to engage with life without fear. You are still present, still compassionate, still open, but no longer vulnerable in the same ways. Wisdom now guards your heart. As this message continues to unfold, hold on to this truth. You are not standing at the edge of something fragile. You are standing on something firm. The shield beneath you is as strong as the shield around you. And with each step, confidence will replace hesitation, not because you know everything ahead, but because you trust the one who walks with you. Chosen one, Archangel Michael now speaks with clarity about the strength that is rising within you, because protection does not only surround you, it reshapes you. You may begin to notice that situations which once drained you now pass without leaving a mark. This is not because you care less, but because you are anchored deeper. The shield around you is teaching your spirit how to remain steady even when circumstances shift. There is a recalibration of courage happening. Not loud courage, not forceful bravery, but quiet certainty. You no longer need constant reassurance. You no longer need signs for every step. You are learning to move with trust instead of tension. Archangel Michael says this is what mature faith looks like. It does not rush ahead, and it does not freeze in fear. It walks. You may also notice that your sense of timing is improving. You are less likely to speak out of emotion, and more likely to wait for the right moment. Words will land with more impact now, because they are measured, not reactive. Silence will become just as powerful as speech. This is authority in its refined form. There is something else happening beneath the surface. Old temptations to over-explain, overextend, or overgive are losing their pull. You are beginning to respect your own limits. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. The shield honors balance. When you protect your energy, you protect your purpose. Archangel Michael says the reason balance matters now is because you are entering a season where your presence will matter more than your effort. People will sense peace around you without you trying to teach it. Situations will calm simply because you are not feeding chaos. This influence is subtle, but it is real. Be mindful in the coming days of where you invest your attention. Attention is agreement. What you focus on grows. The shield blocks what you do not consent to, but it amplifies what you do. Choose carefully. Feed what brings life. Starve what brings fear. You may find yourself drawn to messages, conversations, and environments that feel clean, honest, and grounding. Follow that instinct. It is not coincidence. Your spirit recognizes alignment faster now. The shield sharpens discernment so you do not have to learn everything the hard way. There is also a reminder from Archangel Michael. Rest is part of warfare. You do not win every battle by standing alert. Some victories are secured while you sleep. Trust that even when you are not actively doing anything, protection remains active. The shield does not require your effort to function. This is why guilt about resting must be released. You are not falling behind when you pause. You are integrating what has been given. Integration turns revelation into stability. Without it, growth becomes fragile. Heaven prefers strong foundations over fast movement. As this message continues to reach others, your role in sharing it matters. When you like this message, when you comment, when you share it with someone who needs reassurance, you are participating in a ripple effect of protection. These actions are not about attention. They are about alignment. Each interaction strengthens the signal for those who are still searching for confirmation. Staying connected matters too. Subscribing and remaining part of this space is not about routine. It is about continuity. What has begun unfolding will continue, layer by layer, and those who stay aligned will recognize each step as it comes. Even choosing to go deeper through community support is a way of saying yes to growth, not obligation. Archangel Michael reminds you that collective agreement multiplies strength. When the chosen move together, protection expands. You are not alone in this season, even when the path feels personal. As we approach the close of this message, let your heart remain open. There is more clarity ahead, and it builds naturally from what has already been revealed. Hold on, because what comes next will connect the final pieces and show you why everything unfolded in this exact order. Beloved one, as the momentum of this divine alignment continues, Archangel Michael draws your awareness to a truth that has been quietly forming within you. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding from authority. There is a difference, and it changes everything. Reaction is driven by pressure. Response is guided by wisdom. What you are experiencing now is the result of protection doing its deeper work. You may notice that situations which once demanded immediate answers no longer feel urgent. You are comfortable waiting. You are comfortable observing. This is not hesitation. This is mastery. Archangel Michael says when protection matures, it creates space between stimulus and response. In that space, truth speaks clearly. There is also a new steadiness in how you handle uncertainty. You may not have all the details, but you are no longer unsettled by that. You trust that clarity will come when it is needed. This trust is not blind. It is earned through experience. You have seen enough to know that alignment never fails, even when it unfolds slowly. The shield around you is now working like a lens. It helps you see what matters and filters out what does not. You are becoming selective without becoming cold, intentional without becoming rigid, compassionate without becoming drained. This balance is rare, and it is cultivated through seasons exactly like this one. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that this phase is teaching you how to carry peace forward, not just experience it temporarily. Peace is becoming your default state, not a momentary relief. This is why disruptions will feel less personal. You will recognize that not everything requires your emotional investment. Some things are simply passing through. There is also a strengthening of inner boundaries happening. You are less likely to absorb moods, opinions, or expectations that are not yours. You can listen without taking on weight that does not belong to you. This emotional clarity is part of the shield's function. It keeps you present without being pulled apart. You may find that your prayers are changing. They are less about asking for rescue and more about asking for alignment. Less about escape and more about wisdom. This shift reflects growth. You are no longer seeking relief from life. You are seeking partnership with purpose. Archangel Michael says partnership is the key word now. You are not being carried. You are being guided. You are walking with heaven, not waiting behind it. This partnership brings confidence that does not depend on circumstances. You know you are supported, even when outcomes are not yet visible. There may be moments when old fears attempt to resurface, especially when you approach unfamiliar territory. Do not be alarmed. Fear often appears when expansion is near. The difference now is that fear no longer has authority. It may speak, but it does not decide. You decide. Notice how quickly you recover now. Emotional dips do not last as long. Disappointments do not linger. You process and release instead of storing and carrying. This resilience is not something you forced. It is something that emerged naturally as protection stabilizes you. Archangel Michael also points to a subtle joy returning. Not excitement, not adrenaline, but contentment. A quiet appreciation for where you are. This joy does not depend on milestones. It exists in the present moment. It is a sign that your nervous system is settling, that your spirit feels safe again. This safety allows creativity to return. Ideas may surface without effort. Solutions may appear while you are not actively searching. This is flow. Flow happens when fear steps aside. The shield creates an environment where inspiration can move freely. You are also learning to trust your own discernment more deeply. You no longer seek constant confirmation from others. You listen, but you decide. This confidence is not arrogance. It is alignment. When you are aligned, you do not need permission to be yourself. As this part draws to a close, Archangel Michael leaves you with this reassurance. Nothing about this season is fragile. What is forming is stable, sustainable, and supported. You are not walking on uncertainty, you are walking on foundation. Carry this awareness with you. Let it inform your choices, your pace, and your rest. The shield remains active not as a barrier, but as a companion. And as you continue forward, the next unfolding will reveal just how purposeful this entire journey has been. My beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks with a depth meant to settle something permanently within you. This is the point where protection turns into positioning. You are not just being kept safe, you are being placed correctly. Many misunderstand divine shields as walls, but this one is a compass. It does not confine you, it aligns you. And alignment changes outcomes without noise. You may feel a growing certainty about what no longer belongs in your life. This certainty is not harsh, it is calm. You are not angry about the past anymore. You are simply finished with it. Archangel Michael says closure does not always come with confrontation. Sometimes it comes with clarity so complete that the door closes on its own. This is why your reactions have softened while your decisions have strengthened. You are no longer fighting for space. Space is being made for you. When alignment happens, resistance dissolves. You stop pushing, and things start responding. There is also a divine sorting happening around you. Truth is rising to the surface without effort. What is genuine will remain. What was built on convenience will fade. This is not loss. It is purification. Your life is being simplified so your purpose can move freely. Archangel Michael wants you to notice how your energy returns faster now. You may still get tired, but you no longer feel drained for days. Emotional recovery is quicker. Mental fog lifts sooner. This is evidence that the shield is not only external. It is restoring your inner systems. You are healing at a pace that matches your future, not your past. Pay attention to moments when you suddenly feel gratitude without a clear reason. That is your spirit recognizing safety. Gratitude rises naturally when danger has passed, even if the mind does not yet know all the details. Your spirit knows you are no longer exposed. There is also a warning wrapped in care. Do not try to explain this season to those who are not meant to understand it. Explanation invites interference. Peace does not need validation. Let your consistency speak louder than your words. Those who are aligned will feel it without explanation. Archangel Michael says this is a season of quiet power. Loud moves are not required. Small, intentional steps will carry more weight than dramatic gestures. What you build now will last because it is not rushed. It is ruined. You may also notice a change in how you pray or reflect. Silence may feel more meaningful than words. Stillness may bring more answers than effort. This is not distance from God. It is intimacy. You are learning to listen without anxiety. As this alignment deepens, your trust in timing will increase. You will stop forcing outcomes. You will allow processes to complete. This patience is not passive. It is informed. You know that what is meant for you cannot arrive late. Archangel Michael now speaks a ceiling over this phase. The confusion that once followed you cannot cross into what is coming. The fear that once interrupted your sleep has lost access. The uncertainty that once slowed your steps no longer has authority. This is not temporary relief. This is a new baseline. Before this moment closes, receive this activation with intention. Type "I am divinely positioned" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 818 has just been released, activating alignment, restoration, and forward momentum. And now, hear this sacred invitation as an extension of what has just been sealed. When I release these words, I do so because lives are waiting for light at the right moment. Every seed sown into this work becomes oil for another lamp, covering for another household, clarity for another soul. God declares that those who sow in faith will reap in abundance, pressed down and overflowing. If this message positioned you, let your action position someone else. Release your seed now through super thanks. Step into deeper alignment through membership, or give through PayPal. The link is in the description. Do it now, not as a donation, but as obedience. I speak blessing over every giver. May your paths be clear, your homes be guarded, and your harvest arrive without delay. Act now, and let heaven respond. Beloved one, as the alignment settles deeper into your life, Archangel Michael now reveals something essential about what lies ahead. The season you are entering will require steadiness more than speed. You are not being rushed forward. You are being established. Establishment is quieter than breakthrough, but it is far more powerful. Breakthrough opens doors. Establishment teaches you how to remain once you walk through them. You may already feel this shift in how you approach your days. There is less urgency to prove, less pressure to impress, less fear of missing out. This is not complacency. This is confidence forming at the root. Archangel Michael says when the root is strong, the fruit does not panic about timing. The shield around you is now functioning like a stabilizer. It keeps you balanced when circumstances fluctuate. Good news will not intoxicate you. Difficult moments will not destabilize you. You are learning how to remain centered regardless of external conditions. This emotional regulation is not learned overnight. It is the result of sustained protection. There is also a refinement of focus taking place. You will notice that your attention naturally gravitates toward what matters most. Distractions that once consumed hours will lose their appeal. You will become more intentional with your time, not because you are forcing discipline, but because clarity has simplified your priorities. Archangel Michael wants you to know that this clarity will protect you from burnout. You have spent seasons giving more than you had, running on reserves, pushing through exhaustion because you felt responsible for outcomes. That chapter is closing. You are no longer required to carry what was never assigned to you. This does not mean responsibility disappears. It means responsibility becomes shared. You will recognize when to act and when to release, when to hold and when to let go. This discernment is one of the greatest gifts of alignment. It prevents you from wasting strength on battles that resolve themselves. You may also notice changes in how people respond to you. Some will feel drawn to your presence without understanding why. Others may feel uncomfortable without being able to explain it. Neither reaction is accidental. Peace exposes unrest. Stability highlights instability. Do not take either response personally. Archangel Michael says, do not shrink to make others comfortable in your growth. Your steadiness is not an attack. Your boundaries are not rejection. They are evidence that healing has taken root. Those who are meant to walk with you will adjust. Those who are not will drift. Both outcomes are correct. There is also a renewed sense of trust developing within you. Trust not only in God but in yourself. You will begin to recognize that your instincts are reliable, that your discernment has matured, that your inner voice no longer echoes fear, but wisdom. This self-trust is not pride. It is alignment between your spirit and your actions. You may find yourself less inclined to explain your decisions, not because you are hiding, but because you are clear. Explanation is often needed when we are uncertain. Certainty moves quietly. Let your consistency speak over time. Archangel Michael reminds you that progress in this season will look subtle. Do not underestimate small shifts. A calmer response, a clearer decision, a peaceful night of rest. These are signs of deep transformation. Big changes are being built on small, stable foundations. Be mindful not to compare your path to others. Comparison will distort perception. You are not on the same assignment, timeline, or terrain. What looks slow to someone else may be perfectly paced for you. The shield ensures your journey unfolds according to divine timing, not human pressure. As you continue forward, allow yourself to enjoy the simplicity of being present. You do not need to constantly anticipate the next step. It will reveal itself when you are ready. Presence strengthens discernment. Anxiety weakens it. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing essential will be missed. Opportunities aligned with your purpose will recognize you. You do not have to chase what is meant to meet you. Alignment creates attraction naturally. As this part settles, hold this truth close. You are not merely protected from what could have been. You are being prepared for what will be. The shield around you is steady, responsive, and enduring. And as the next unfolding approaches, you will recognize it not by urgency, but by peace. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now brings your attention to how this protection begins to express itself through action, because alignment is never meant to stay hidden. What has been forming within you will now start to show in how you move, speak, and decide. This is the stage where inner authority becomes visible, not through dominance, but through calm consistency. You may notice that people begin to trust your words more, even when you say less. Your presence will feel grounding to those who are unsettled. This is not because you have all the answers, but because you are no longer searching for them in fear. Archangel Michael says peace carries credibility. When your spirit is steady, others sense it instinctively. There is also a sharpening of purpose happening now. You will feel clearer about what deserves your time and what does not. Invitations that once felt flattering may now feel distracting. Responsibilities that once felt heavy may now feel aligned. This clarity is not accidental. The shield is filtering your path so that your energy is spent where it produces fruit. Be aware that with clarity often comes visibility. You may feel seen in new ways even without seeking attention. This visibility is not a test of ego. It is a test of stewardship. How you carry influence matters more than how much you receive. Archangel Michael reminds you that humility preserves protection. Stay grounded. Stay teachable. Stay grateful. You may also experience moments of reflection where you realize how far you have come. Not with pride, but with quiet acknowledgement. Allow yourself to honor that growth. Recognition does not weaken humility. Denial of growth weakens confidence. You are allowed to see the progress without clinging to it. As this season unfolds, there will be opportunities to reinforce alignment through small, intentional actions. One of those actions is engagement. When you like this message, when you comment, when you share it with someone who needs reassurance, you are participating in the flow of what God is doing. These actions are not about numbers. They are about agreement. Agreement strengthens momentum. Staying connected also matters. Subscribing and remaining present in this space keeps you aligned with ongoing revelation. What hath been unfolding is not isolated. It is part of a larger pattern of guidance meant to walk with you through multiple seasons. Even choosing to support and deepen that connection is not obligation. It is recognition. Archangel Michael says momentum grows where attention is faithful. When you show up consistently, clarity follows consistently. You are not meant to receive one word and then drift. You are meant to grow through continuity. There is also a reminder to guard your rest. Action that not mean constant motion. Even as opportunities arise, balance remains essential. The shield protects you from overextension, but wisdom honors its limits. Choose rhythms that sustain you, not exhaust you. You may feel a renewed confidence in making decisions without overthinking. Trust that. Overanalysis often comes from fear of mistake. Confidence comes from alignment. You are allowed to decide and move forward without revisiting every possibility. The shield corrects course gently when needed. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that joy and responsibility are not opposites. You can carry purpose without heaviness. You can lead without strain. You can give without depletion. This balance is learned, and you are learning it now. As this message continues, stay open to what follows. There is a connection forming between everything you have heard and what is about to be revealed next. Before you drift away, pause here. This is where the picture becomes clearer, and you will want to hear how these pieces come together. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now draws you into a moment of deep understanding, because everything that has unfolded so far has been preparing you for this realization. You are no longer standing at the edge of something unknown. You are standing within something intentional. What once felt like uncertainty was actually invitation. What once felt like delay was alignment forming beneath the surface. There is a new level of trust settling into your spirit. Not the kind that needs constant reassurance, but the kind that remains steady even when answers are incomplete. This trust is born from experience. You have seen how protection showed up when you least expected it. You have felt peace arrive without explanation. These moments have trained your heart to rest. Archangel Michael says this is the season where faith becomes embodied. It is no longer just something you believe. It is something you live. You move differently now. You listen more carefully. You choose more intentionally. This embodiment is what sustains long-term purpose. Belief alone inspires. Embodiment transforms. You may notice that your patience has deepened. Things that once frustrated you now feel manageable. You understand that not everything unfolds on demand. This patience is not resignation. It is wisdom. You know that forcing timing creates instability, while honoring timing creates strength. There is also a growing sense of inner order. Thoughts feel more organized. Emotions feel less scattered. Even when challenges appear, they no longer disrupt your entire system. This inner order is a reflection of divine order aligning within you. The shield has allowed your inner world to settle, and from that stability, clarity emerges. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize how rare this phase is. Many seek peace without understanding what it requires. Peace is not avoidance. Peace is alignment. And alignment often comes after seasons of discomfort, questioning, and surrender. You have walked through those seasons. That is why this peace can remain. You may feel moments of quiet gratitude for lessons you once resisted. Pain that once confused you now makes sense. Choices you once questioned now reveal their wisdom. This perspective shift is not accidental. It is the result of growth that has reached maturity. As you continue forward, you will notice that your discernment operates faster than your emotions. You no longer need to feel everything to know what is right. Knowing precedes feeling now. This is stability. This is what allows you to act without being overwhelmed. Archangel Michael also reminds you that growth does not mean isolation. Even as your path becomes more defined, connection remains important. The difference is that you now connect from wholeness, not need. Relationships will feel lighter, more mutual, more honest. You are no longer seeking completion. You are sharing overflow. There may still be moments when old doubts attempt to return, especially when you approach unfamiliar opportunities. When this happens, do not fight the doubt. Observe it. It no longer has control. It is simply a remnant of a former season. Your response will remind it that its influence has ended. Notice how your self-talk has changed. You are kinder with yourself, more patient, less critical. This internal shift is one of the clearest signs of healing. Protection is not only about external threats, it is about ending internal conflict. You are becoming a safe place for yourself. Archangel Michael wants you to know that what you are building now is sustainable. You are no longer driven by urgency or fear of loss. You are guided by clarity and trust. This foundation will support growth without collapse. You are not just moving forward, you are establishing something that can last. As this part comes to a close, let yourself rest in the awareness that you are exactly where you need to be. Not ahead, not behind, not missing anything. The shield around you remains active, not because you are in danger, but because you are valuable. What remains now is completion. One final sealing. One final word that ties everything together and releases what has been waiting on your alignment. Stay present. What follows will bring this entire journey into focus. My beloved child, this is the moment of completion, the point where everything you have heard settles into truth and becomes sealed within your spirit. Archangel Michael stands firm now, not with warning, but with confirmation. What began as urgency has become assurance. What began as protection has become positioning. You are no longer waiting for safety, you are living within it. The sacred cycle closes with peace, not suspense. That is how you know it is divine. When heaven finishes a work, it does not leave you anxious. It leaves you grounded. The shield that was placed over you before night came has done its work. It did not just block what was coming against you. It clarified who you are becoming. You may feel a quiet confidence now, not loud or demanding, but steady and undeniable. This confidence is not based on circumstances. It is rooted in knowing that you are not walking alone. Archangel Michael says you have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. The version of you that lived in constant defense has been released. You now move from authority, not survival. There is also a release of anticipation. You are no longer bracing for impact or waiting for the other shoe to drop. You are present. You are settled. This presence is powerful. It allows you to see opportunities clearly and respond wisely. Nothing needs to rush you now. Understand this clearly. The shield does not disappear after this moment. It adapts as you grow. As your responsibilities increase, so does your covering. As your influence expands, so does your protection. Heaven does not promote without preserving. Archangel Michael wants you to remember that discernment will remain your greatest ally. You will not need signs for everything. Peace will be your signal. When peace remains, proceed. When peace withdraws, pause. This simplicity will keep you aligned long after this message ends. There will be days ahead where you look back on this moment and realize it was a turning point. Not because everything changed overnight, but because you did. Your reactions softened. Your boundaries strengthened. Your trust deepened. These internal shifts are the real evidence of divine work. Do not underestimate what had been sealed. Cycles have ended. Patterns have been broken. Access has been revoked. What once drained you no longer has permission. What once confused you no longer has influence. This is not temporary relief. This is lasting order. As this final word settles, receive this activation with full intention. Type "I am sealed and protected" in the comments if your spirit agrees. Blessing code 909 has now been released, sealing completion, divine order, and forward clarity over your life. And now, hear this final invitation as a continuation of what God has already done here. I speak because souls are still waiting for this light, and obedience keeps the portal open. The word declares that when seed is sown into good ground, it multiplies beyond what was released. If this message covered you, let your response cover another. This is not support. It is participation in a divine assignment. Release your seed now through super thanks. Step fully into alignment through membership, or give through PayPal using the link in the description. You it now, not later, because obedience has timing. I bless every giver with guarded homes, clear paths, and harvest without delay. Act now, and let heaven answer your yes.